right, guys. Ask a Felon back with another one for you. I was asked the question, what's the hardest part about prison? And I'm going to tell you the truth. The hardest part is going to differ by the individual, because if you're one of them people who don't have nobody out there that you care about, prison wouldn't be nothing. Prison would just be like a timeout. As a matter of fact, there's probably some of the lowlifes in there who live better in prison. That's where they thrive more than they would outside. I've seen that so much. I've seen people who was on the streets, they wouldn't be shit. Like, they really wouldn't. They wouldn't be nothing. They'd be one of them people who nobody wants around, always being watched, got to watch every move they make. But in prison, they thrive. That's where they thrive at, is in prison. Like, it used to annoy me so bad seeing people that I knew. If we was on the street and you ran your mouth to me, I'd beat your ass in a heartbeat. But since you're in prison and you're affiliated with a gang, to me, honest opinion, ain't trying to offend nobody who, if they ever went to prison and they was in a gang, but to me, I think you're a pussy if you're in a gang. Honest opinion, not me trying to be a badass or nothing like that. Because I think the hardest thing about prison is not being around your people and learn how to control your temper. You got to learn patience and control your temper. But it would be a toss-up between missing the people you had on the outside and the family you have. And then the second hardest thing for me was controlling my temper. Like I said, there's so many people there who ain't shit on the streets, but in prison they thrive. That's where they're the best at. I was in there for a little over 3.5 years. And in my time being in there, I seen people get released and then be back 6 months later. And in there is where they felt like they did it. So, like, you could just tell that's where they belong. That's their life. That's what they enjoy. But then again, part of it, it's like, excuse me, it's kind of sad too to think that you ain't got nobody or nothing out on the streets. So you like to come to prison because you got friends and people and you join a gang. Like, I could have joined a gang if I wanted to. I didn't though. I'm not a follower. I never could be a follower. I never was one of them people who could be fake around or be a chameleon and blend in with who I'm around. But I see so many people in there that was like that. Yeah, the hardest part about prison for me, myself, was missing my family, not being able to be out there to help them, especially if you got bad news or you heard somebody was doing something. It was like, man, I wish I was out there. I miss my family. I miss being able to give them a hug. I miss being able to just sit and bullshit with them. Yeah, you get visits. They're in-person visits. You get to sit at a table. You can eat your snacks, and they can get shit out of the machine, sit there and eat some chips and some Twinkies or something with them. But it's just not the same, because it makes it harder. When that visit's over and they walk away, you relive it every time. It's just like reliving losing your family again. And then the second hardest thing was controlling your temper. For me, I got a temper that it's like that. But I learned in there, is it worth my time? Is it worth my time? Do I want to stay here for a full 20 years, or do I want to get out in possibly 3 to 5, or could have been 1 if the judge didn't mess up on my sentencing paper? But it's like controlling your temper. I mean, patience. You have to learn patience in there, because if you ain't got patience, then you're gonna fly off the handle. But you can't. But you learn quick. It ain't your terms. It's the prison's terms. They tell you when you can do anything you want to do. So for me, it was getting out and doing my GED. That gave me a chance to get out of there. Gave me a purpose. Doing the therapeutic community, which is an intense 9-month drug therapy, basically. You have to get up every day, start at 8, doing classes. You have to do groups. It's an intense thing, but it keeps you busy too. And then you got to watch out I learned that the hard way too. I'll make a video on that, about going to solitary confinement. You got to watch who you tell, how much time you got, and if you have a possibility of getting out. Because I had a bunkie who tested my patience every day. He was mad because I was getting tattoos and nobody wanted to do tattoo work on him. So he was taking it out on me as my bunkie, and he'd say a little slick shit throughout the day, make little smart ass comments and shit. It's where it got to the point that there was so much tension in our bunk, we ended up getting in a fight, which sent me to solitary confinement. I'll get into that on another video. But yeah, you're gonna have to learn to control your temper. You have to learn patience. That was the biggest thing I learned. Like, if anybody ever asked me what was the biggest thing you took away from prison, was learning patience. Weighing your choices. Is it worth it to beat this motherfucker's ass or get my ass beat? Or is it not worth it? Is that worth 6 more months in here? No, it's not. Is it worth another year? Nope, sure ain't. So I can swallow my pride for another year of being free while your ass sits in here. But if you tell people you're getting out, or they know anything, you have a possibility of getting out. There's people in there who are spiteful because that's their life. So they'll try to mess up your time cut, which is exactly what this guy tried to do. He even said the words, "I'm getting out in 6 months no matter what. I can fuck up your time cut." That's what, and then it led to a fight, which he was trying to take my time cut. Luckily for me, though, like I said in my other videos, it pays to be respectful to guards, not giving problems. The therapeutic community was the counselors. Respect them, not give them shit. Because at the end, when it came down to the fight that I got into, they all vouched for me. They was writing me letters in solitary confinement. My counselors wrote me letters in solitary confinement, said, "We're fighting to get you out of there because we know that this guy," we'll just call him Terry, which just it's a made up name, but his name, we'll say Terry. He was one of them who ran around there being an ass kisser, fake as fuck to the counselors and shit. But he was so obvious that he was fake. Anyway, the counselors was writing letters to get me out of there. They told me, "Hey, don't give up. We're working on it. We're trying to get you out. You ain't got to restart the program," because he waited. It's a 9-month program, and he waited until my 8th month when I had a court date to do this. So he was deliberately trying to take my time from me. Luckily, I was respectful to the guards, the counselors, and the counselors vouched for me and got me back in. Luckily, I didn't have to restart the whole program from day one. I got to stay where I was at and go back to the program. But yeah, the hardest part is missing your family if you have people out there, and controlling your temper. I feel like controlling my temper was like one of the biggest accomplishments for me in there. Because in jail, I didn't control my temper. I'd said whatever the fuck was on my mind, and I did whatever I had to do when I was in jail. Now, prison's different, because jail, you're just going to get it right up. They ain't going to take your time. Prison, they can take your time from you. But anyway, like I said, there's people in there that think as they're in a gang that they got this bit, they got people backing them up. It's like having a big brother that they can run to. That's what I feel like joining a gang is. That you're too scared to be in there as your own man. So you want to join a gang. Other people can say whatever, no, that's just a life. That's because they're about that life. Well, maybe they are about that life. If you're about that prison life, then you don't have a very good life to start with. So yeah, I learned how to control my temper in there, which was the hardest part for me, and missing my family. But with that being said, guys, that's all I got for this video. That was just a question somebody asked me about what was the hardest part. And I'm going to have to say it's a toss-up between missing your family and learning patience and controlling your temper. That was for me. Other people's probably got other things they say. Luckily I done detoxed in jail before I went to prison, or it probably would have been detoxing off of drugs. But like I said, I got a little topic for every video. I'll try to touch base on each question I get. That was just the last question that I had come through to me on one of my shorts. Somebody asked what was the hardest part about prison, and that's what I got for you. Missing your family and learning patience and how to control your temper. That's the biggest thing I learned in prison, was patience. But till the next question, guys. See ya.